It started innocently enough, just a faint sound drifting through the walls of my old apartment. A rhythmic scrape, like claws on concrete, echoing every night around 2 a.m. At first, I chalked it up to a new neighbor adjusting to the space. But as the nights wore on, the noise grew louder, more determined. It was as if the walls themselves were alive, whispering secrets I was never meant to hear. Curiosity gnawed at me, and I knew I had to find out what was happening next door. I decided to introduce myself, using a pie as an excuse to meet whoever was responsible for my sleepless nights. The door creaked open to reveal a man with eyes that never seemed to settle, flickering around the room as if watching invisible phantoms. His clothes were rumpled, covered in a fine layer of dust. I handed him the pie, and he accepted it with a distracted smile, mumbling something incoherent before closing the door abruptly. It was then I noticed the dark smudges under his fingernails, the unmistakable mark of someone who had been digging. Unable to shake the feeling of unease, I waited until the following night, poised by the wall, ears straining for the now familiar sound. To my horror, it wasn't just the scraping that filled the silence. There was a voice, low and guttural, chanting words I couldn't understand. I pressed my ear closer, heart pounding in my chest, and caught snippets of a language that seemed ancient and forbidden. I realized then that whatever my neighbor was digging for was not of this world, and I felt an icy hand grip my spine. The final night came, and the sounds were more frantic, desperate. I could no longer sit idly by, so I crept into the hallway, determined to confront the truth. As I reached his door, it swung open with a gust of air, revealing a gaping hole in the center of the room. My neighbor stood at its edge, his eyes now black voids, his mouth moving in silent incantations. The ground trembled, and from the abyss, an otherworldly light spilled forth, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. I stumbled back, but his eyes locked onto mine, and I knew I had been marked. Whatever he had summoned was not bound to just his apartment, and as the light consumed everything, I realized the digging was just the beginning.